And good morning back to you on this Tuesday. Today is the last day of March 31st. So we're coming out of here, and tomorrow is April Fool's Day, All Fool's Day, whatever they call it. Don't be calling me telling no lies. Folk will be doing that stuff. You know they will. Producer today, we got Reverend Carl Brinkley and Reverend Paul. They're our producers on today, and also we have in the studio with us our most able intern, Brother Caleb Brown. Guesting with us today, again, had an opportunity to talk to her last year, is Miss Valerie Rayner. And good morning, Valerie.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So Valerie is back to talk about the American Legion Riders.
Yes.
Yay!
Yes.
Let's talk about that. So now y'all got all this stuff. So now you actually started in Fayetteville, correct?
That is correct. Out at Mac Williams School parking lot.
Right. So let's talk about that. Bring us up to date. Let's talk about what happened last year, because I haven't talked to you post.
Right.
Your trip last year, what happened, and we're back again on this year. So applause to you.
Thank you.
You know, I'm not trying to be mean here, but look, people don't give veterans their just due. Not in my opinion. You know, they have months for other people. They just give us a day.
Right.
And folk are going out there dying for the flag and the country and honor and all this other stuff. And they have a day. And they set aside months for other folk. But that's my own stuff, so I'll leave that alone, okay?
Yeah. Actually, it's 2 days. We get Veterans Day and Memorial Day.
Right. But I'm saying, but those are two separate, you know.
Right. Two separate months, 2 separate days, and a lot of people
that's
don't
for
understand it.
Right. Memorial Day is for the ones that gave the ultimate sacrifice, deceased.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
And then we get a day for the veterans.
Exactly.
And whatever, though, you know, they got months for other folk. But anyway, whatever.
Well, you're right. But you know what? At the end of the day, I'm a veteran all day, every day, 365. So I'm not worried about what society say. I know what I gave.
True. Right. Well, look, let's talk about your American Legion Riders. Give us an update on what happened last year and how that went. And then let's talk about what we're going to be doing in 2026.
Okay. So last year we had our 3rd annual ride. We ended up with 75 total participants in the ride. We had like 20 plus cars, about 40 plus bikes, and we had the Ride of Pride semi on the ride last year. And we left out of the Food Line parking lot off of Clinton Road. And we proceeded up to Selma, where we stopped at, then over to Goldsboro, stopped and picked up some people, and then, you know, convoyed all the way down. So by the time we got there, the car show and the vendor event was well in, you know, the swing of things. We had between 700 to 1,000 people that were in and out the event, to include everybody that arrived. So at the end of the day, once everything was tallied up with the donations that was collected, the participants of the car show, the vendor event, and the ride, we raised over $6,000 for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention North Carolina chapter.
Oh, wow. That's wonderful. Excellent, excellent, excellent. And that's the big deal there. The focus that you all are having now is on suicide prevention.
That is correct.
Right. And, you know, oh, man, it's just a tough situation where folk... you know, to come back from the trauma of all of that, and people don't think that it's trauma, you know, that I was not in combat, but, you know, I saw people get on planes and not come back, and stuff like that, and I know how it affected me. And some people, yeah, but you weren't in deep combat. Well, you know, understand, guy, when you're over there, whether you're in the middle of the combat or not, it affects you, because you, like I'm talking to you now, and then you go get on a plane, or you go out somewhere and you don't come back, you know. And that's going on continually.
Exactly.
That's trauma.
Yes, it is. PTSD is very real. And to keep it totally transparent, I have my issues with PTSD, anxiety, and all of that, and depression. But I have found ways to manage it. Everybody is not able to do what I do, but I do what I do with this event to help continue to provide resources in the community for veterans, firefighters, police officers, law enforcement, they deal with a lot of PTSD trauma too. It takes a lot for them to go out every day and do what they do, as well as what soldiers and do 24/7.
Right.
So, and then we have everyday people that deal with stuff. Like, I was watching the news last night, and a young man from Central, he took his life, and he was voted Mr. Freshman. He was doing a lot of things. He was involved in a lot of different things in the community, as the campus community, but nobody knew what he was dealing with privately. And that's one of the things that pushes me to do what I do, not only just for veterans, but for the overall community, because it's not a me thing, it's not a you thing, it's a everybody thing, because not only just veterans suffer from PTSD, society suffers from PTSD, and they all come, deal with ideals of taking their life.
I read that, and I think I read something about that young man at Central being bullied.
I caught that part of it,
Yeah,
but
right.
some of the students said that that's what they heard, but nobody has been able to confirm. So
Right, yeah. I think about that, because I think about even these high school students, in this society we live in now, the exposure that one could have just being a kid could be global, because, somebody's filming you, and, it's not like when I was growing up, and I'm glad it didn't have that, because I don't know what I've been.
right,
I'm about sure I would have been a target. I was kind of nerdy there, so that group gets targeted.
right, and you're right. And me and my husband, we were watching the news last night, and we looked at each other like, did we really? We had to think hard. Did we have to deal with stuff like that as a child? And we couldn't remember instance in either one of our childhoods where we dealt with something like that and everything. So
yeah. I got picked on a little bit, but it's different when you got the cyberbullying type things that are going on.
Right.
And but you're right though.
So yeah.
People don't understand, I'm not 100%, but part of my disability is a sleep issue. Because look, when you used to hearing boom, 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 boom all the time, okay? And then when it got silent, that meant they probably going to attack you. So, I was in a situation where it's like, I need to hear noise at night to sleep. You know what I mean? Turn on the TV or something.
Yes.
Or just total silence.
I can't do total silence.
That's what I'm saying. And that's part of my disability.
And God
just total
forbid
silence.
if Spectrum decide they want to do an update on that equipment in the middle of the night, and I wake up and I don't hear that TV, I'm up till they come back on, because I can't do total silence. Total silence put me back in that situation. Even though I was there for the ending of one and the beginning of the other, we still had incidents where the C-ramps were going off because they were taking something out the air before it reached us. And I'm like, we're not. I can't do that. My husband, he you know what, that man loves me because he tolerates a lot with my sleep issues and when I have my moments, and I just have to give him the shout out because it took him a while to fully understand that I left one way and I came back another. And his whole thing was, you just got to shake it off and just keep pushing. No, it does not work like that. It does not work like that. You have to figure out a new way to live, a new way to exist.
True.
So.
Well, the ones at my age range, it's been over 50 years.
Wow. Yeah.
And you just don't shake it off.
No, you don't. You never do. You never do. And it's about time for Fort Bragg to start running their. We know the Marine Corps about ready to come up here and start their artillery shelling.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're about to. Our PTSD is about to be a little bit off the chain, just a little bit.
Right. I'm North Ramsey, so I hear boom, 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 boom.
And I'm out by Anderson Creek now, so yeah, I will definitely hear the not as much as I did the other year, but now it's not as bad. But still, if I hear something, I'm like, okay.
So the advancements that we've made, though, with individuals that were prone to be suicidal, you know, I guess it's not the classic I'm giving everything away type situations like it used to be, you know, when people start giving things away, you know, and
That was a sign that something was going to happen. Now you don't get signs. And I think you very seldomly get a suicide note from for the research that I have been doing since we have been doing this charity ride event. They might leave a note, they might not. But for the most part, they just go ahead. I feel like now the reason they do it the way they do it now is because if they leave a note or they give away something, they feel like somebody's going to talk them out of it. So if they don't give them any clue of what they're about to do, then there's more of a chance that they're going to actually carry it out.
Right. I was talking to a friend, and her husband was, they had come back from Iraq, I believe it was, and he was a high-ranking NCO, and they called him in the middle of the night because one of his troopers they was out there driving a car about like 100+ miles per hour, and stopped him, and what are you doing? I'm looking for a treaty hit, So people find different ways to take their lives now, or either they do something and they call the police to come to them with the intent that the police are going to kill them. And so, that's, they got a lot of ways now that people that are bothered with that sickness. A friend asked me, said, well, how do you feel about that with suicide? But they're sick. So I wouldn't be angry at someone because they have cancer or tuberculosis or some other chronic disease. Then I view their sickness in their mind because of the trauma that they've been through. I look at it through the same lens. They're sick.
Exactly. A lot of families had that stereotype that mental health is a passing phase, so to speak. And Mr. Troy, growing, some families had, Uncle so-and-so went off to Vietnam, he came back, he ain't right, but grandma, auntie had him in that room back off in the house. Don't go back there and bother him because he ain't right. Nobody knew and understood what PTSD was then. And that's just the stereotype that society gets. It's something you can get over it, or you just not right in the head, or whatever. There's so many resources out there now to get help, and therapy. There's therapy, but at the same time, a lot of people don't want to go to therapy or get any type of help because of the stereotype that comes with it. And that's one of the things we're trying to get, bring to the forefront, that it is okay to seek help. It is okay to see a therapist, because a lot of families don't want you to talk about what is going on. They would rather just, sweep it up under the rug or brush it off to the side and not deal with it. But then the moment something happens and that person is successful in taking their life, now everybody's like, well, why didn't you get him help? Well, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you? It's a whole lot of whys, but a whole lot of what was done to prevent it. So that's why we do what we do. The American Legion, we also can, our post conducts buddy checks. Let's say we belong to the same American Legion post. You're coming every month, every week we have something going on at the post. We see you on a consistent basis. Then all of a sudden, one day you don't show up. Okay, maybe he had an appointment, something to do, vacation, whatever. Another week go by, we don't see you. Okay. No alarm at that moment. Then the third week go around, okay, now what's going on? That's not like him. What's going on? And that's why we had this thing called buddy checks. We call and we check on each other and make sure, because a lot of older veterans live alone where their spouse has passed on or their children have gone and moved on and they're not close enough to check on them. So it's just, buddy checks help us take accountability and check on our fellow veterans. So that way, if you don't see them for 3 weeks in a row, okay, let's call them and see what's going on. And they might be out of town visiting those grandchildren. They might be on a vacation, or they just might be in their own thoughts and they just, withdrew into themselves. And now we need to make sure that they're okay and that we get them some help.
Right. Well, we talk about the American Legion versus the Veteran of Foreign Wars. What do you call it, VFW?
Correct. I am a member of that as well.
Right. And I believe that you need to bring your DD 214 for VFW to determine whether or not you were actually served
In a foreign war, yes.
in a foreign war. Right, correct.
Whereas the American Legion is if you serve 1 day of active federal time, you are eligible.
Right, that's the difference, right?
Yes.
Right. So
As long as you have a honorable discharge.
okay, honorable, right, honorable discharge. So now, if I remember correct, I know that there was an American Legion in Hope Mills. I'm talking about in the little township Hope Mills there.
Post 32, that's my current post.
Okay, and there was also a an American Legion out there near the airport. I don't know if that one still
That's
exists.
the VFW.
Oh, that's a VFW. Okay,
I
and
think
then
that's VFW post 670, if I'm not mistaken.
okay, so that's a VFW. And then you have on Chance Street, which is a VFW.
That's right. That's post
And,
6018.
Across the street off of Drake, is that Drake Street?
No, the address is actually Ramsey Street.
It's
but that's
right, because you're right, but it's Drake runs by it.
right.
And right, but they like I said, it's a Ramsey Street address, but that's an American Legion, correct?
That's an American Legion post as well.
Okay, all right.
There are actually 4 American Legion posts in Cumberland County.
4.
4. I'm a past district commander, so I was in charge. I oversaw the 4 posts here in Cumberland County and oversaw 4 posts in Sampson County.
Okay, so you got 4 American Legions and how many VFWs in Cumberland? Do you know?
I know the 2 that I know of. The one is out there on Doc Bennett Road, and the
Yeah,
one
Doc
out
Bennett Road,
there
right.
on Chance Street, which is post 6018 and post 670. I'm pretty sure there is another. Actually, it is. It is another one in Hope Mills. I just don't know the name of it. I've been to it a few times, and if you didn't know where it was, you would miss it. You have to turn off the main drag and go in around behind where the building that houses the DMV is back up in there.
Okay, all right, yeah, okay. Now, and so you actually live in Harnett County now, though?
Yes.
Okay, I know there used to be one off of Highway 210.
There's 2 VFWs on 210. There's
Right.
one inside of Cumberland County line, and then the other one is just out the other side of the Harnett County line on the left. One's
Right.
on the right, one's on the left.
Okay, yeah, okay, all right, wow. Well,
I actually passed both of them coming in this morning.
yeah, excellent.
Yeah.
Well, you know, we need these organizations. There are a lot of veterans here, and Cumberland County, because of the proximity to, well, it used to be an Air Force base. I was in Air Force. That's no longer an air, it's an airfield now.
Yes,
It's
the
no
Army
longer
Airfield.
Right, no longer in the Army, in the Air Force base. But you have Fort Bragg.
Yes.
And a number of veterans here.
Yes. Yes.
So,
So this year, yeah, we try to reach out to everybody. We've been handing out flyers for the ride. We're having the car, truck, bike, and Jeep show once we get to the fairgrounds. We're also having a vendor event. The only difference is everything is going to be located outside due to on the 12th or the 13th of this month.
okay.
Post 265 was destroyed by an EF0 tornado.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But no one was injured?
Nobody was injured. That is their regular bingo night. If it had hit 3 hours later,
Right.
it could have been a lot worse.
Right.
But fortunately, by the grace of God, nobody was in the building.
Right.
So the commander, Commander Steve Short, he and I have been working diligently to get the word out about the ride, letting everybody know, yes, they may be down, but we're still going on with this. We've been reaching out to different ones, doing different media blast marketing, just getting the information out along with the group Cartoons Auto Club. They are still going to they're the ones helping host the car show, and Miss Rebecca Chanel, she is in charge of the vendors. And I spoke with her yesterday, and the young lady that is married to one of the gentlemen that's in the car club that's helping with the show, Miss Brittany Avery, she said Brittany has been fantastic with helping her reach out to different vendors to get food trucks and everything, because she was stressed out about not being able to have enough vendors, especially food trucks, especially when we look back at the numbers, and I'm like, ooh, yeah, that's not going to work. We're going to need a little bit more food trucks. So she was able to secure 2 more food trucks on top of the ones that she had.
Right. For those tuning in, we have Miss Valerie Rayner, and she is a veteran And you like to say you were the commander.
I was a district commander for District 8 of the area.
Right, district commander.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, how many females has ever been held that post prior to you think?
I'm not for certain how many. I think it was two. Actually, yes, it was two that I know of, and I was the vice to one of them. But I think I'm the youngest one to have held that position about 4 years ago.
Okay.
So I was a district commander for 3 years and a district vice for 3 years.
Okay. Well, you look like you're about 21, so I got that.
Well, thank you, Mr. Troy. But you know, the tolls of the service and ruck marches and physical, PT and all of that. I
was in the Air Force in that ruck march when y'all put on that big backpack thing,
Mm-hmm.
and you be running around all that.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't do that, man. We had a pen. We wrote that stuff down.
Wouldn't he say that? Wouldn't he say that, Pastor Berkeley? Air Force.
Oh, we had a bus. I mean,
Air Force, Chair Force.
That's what buses and jeeps and trucks are for, to ride around and not to run over there.
I got nothing but love for you, Mr. Troy.
We're going to go to a break, come back, wrap this up with Ms. Valerie Rayner talking about their fourth annual Be the One Suicide Prevention Charity Ride inside of WIDU 1600 AM 99.7. We'll be right back.
The U.S. is ramping up its military presence in the Middle East with hundreds of special operations forces already deployed as the White House weighs next steps in the conflict. The third No Kings protest took place all across the country and across North Carolina on Saturday. Travelers at Detroit Metro Airport are arriving early, expecting long lines as the government shutdown continues to impact TSA staffing. But a lot of the people who were coming to the airport were surprised by what they found in security. Some good news. Statewide burn ban continues until further notice. The North Carolina Forest Service issued the ban due to dangerous forest fire conditions. Highway patrol troopers and other officers are on the lookout for leadfoots with a statewide speeding enforcement effort. The average price of a gallon of gas in the U.S. is topped $4 a gallon. Mike Rayleigh, NCN News.
I'm Jamie Monticelli, WIDU Radio News. A few calendar reminders from Cumberland County Schools. Friday, April 3rd is a student and staff holiday. All buildings and offices will be closed. April 6th through 10th is spring break for traditional calendar schools and the Polytechnic High School. Cumberland County is set for a public information session to talk about the proposed East Central Water and Sewer District. That's tonight at 6 p.m. The session is set for Stedman Elementary School. That's at 7370 Clinton Road in Stedman. The session will provide community members with an overview of the proposed district, its purpose, and the potential benefits to residents. County staff will be available to answer questions and share updates about the project. For more information, go to cumberlandcountync.gov. Get ready for the opening of the courts at Glenville Lake. This is April 1st at 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. It's at 730 Filter Plant Drive in Fayetteville. From WIDU Radio, I'm Jamie Monticelli.
High pressure's in charge of our weather as we go through the holiday weekend. That means temperatures are going to be above normal through the entire period. Now, it was cool over the past weekend, but as we start the day today and into Sunday, temperatures should be mainly in the 80s. Now, partly cloudy and warmer, upper 70s to low 80s today. Mostly clear and milder tonight with upper 50s to low 60s. Partly cloudy and warmer on Wednesday, low to mid 80s are expected. I'm meteorologist Mike Mays in the NCN Weather Center.
You ever notice how most helpful information always seems to show up just a little too late? Like, oh, the deadline was yesterday. Or,
you know you could have saved money if you'd done that earlier.
Timing matters. That's why Fayetteville PWC wants you to know the summertime of use schedule begins April 1st. With smart timing, you can lower your energy costs by running appliances like washers, dryers, and dishwashers outside of peak hours, and by adjusting turn your thermostat just a few degrees higher between 3 and 6 in the afternoon, you can save even more. It's a simple shift that helps reduce strain on the energy grid, supports a more sustainable future, and keeps power reliable for everyone in our community. Because at Fayetteville PWC, we're committed to being environmentally responsible, dependable, and deeply invested in the place we all call home. Timing matters, and smart timing means savings. Learn more at startsaving@faypwc.com.
Angelic Flourish Creations, 442 Hillsborough Street, Fayetteville, is family owned and operated, proudly serving the Fayetteville area. Whatever the occasion, Angelic Flourish Creations can create a floral arrangement or gift for any occasion or holiday. Angelic Flourish Creations has prompt, friendly, and caring service. If you want to say you care, you can always say it with flowers from Angelic Flourish Creations, 442 Hillsborough Street, Fayetteville. Call 910-485-2205.
Hello, everybody. My name is Elder Betty Anthony. I attend Kingdom Impact Global Ministries, where our apostle is William T. Ford. I am here to introduce our powerful Easter production called The Crucifixion of Jesus Christ. Come and witness the story that changed everything. The date is April 5th, 2026. Our doors will open at 6 o'clock, and the program will start at 7. Here, we have Pontius Pilate, played by Pastor Travis Stroud.
Hello, everyone. A man was brought before me, in whom I found no fault. But pressure was on me from the Jewish leaders, and I washed my hands from the blood of this innocent man. You all come out and see the rest of the show.
Again, come out on April the 5th. Doors open at 6 and the production start at 7 o'clock. Come and witness the story that changed everything. You don't want to miss it.
You have always put others before yourself. Put your country above all else. Given everything you can, every time. Now it's time to forge a new path. At Fayetteville State University, we believe your service is our debt. So we're offering free military family tuition. Yes, absolutely free. And with new programs like cybersecurity, anything really can happen. Fayetteville State University. Are you in?
As the health director in Haywood County and a nurse here in North Carolina, I can tell you that the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline saves lives.
No matter your struggle, you are not alone. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is free, private, and always available.
988 Lifeline counselors are ready 24/7 to speak with you, help you cope, and get you connected to the support that is right for you.
988, the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline.
Call, text, or chat 988 24/7. Brought to you by the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services.
And we're back now, 25 minutes before the top of the hour. Again, we're talking to Miss Valerie Rayner, deeply involved in the whole thing with veterans, and just gave us a good explanation of the American Legion versus the Veterans of Foreign Wars. And so this is a military community. Matter of fact, this is a military state, really.
Yeah.
You think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Every state is not embedded with veterans the way North Carolina is.
That is correct.
So
as far as I know.
Yeah, right. So, because you got some states out there, but, we have the bases that are here, and that's an important part, I think, to adding to the attendance, if not of individuals. So are you originally from Sampson County?
I am originally from Bladen County.
Bladen County?
Yes.
Where in Bladen?
My address said Garland.
Okay, Garland.
But I was right there on the Bladen-Sampson line in a little community called Cypress Creek.
Okay. All right. So Garland, meaning that, it goes both ways, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I grew up in Harnett County, but Linden, my home address is on the Linden side,
right,
as well as, of that. And there's a Linden in Cumberland County, too.
Yeah.
But, Yeah, I used to go to Garland, man. You know, I used to go down there to the shirt factory I made to Brooks
You know
Brothers.
what? My mama used to work there for years.
At Brooks Brothers?
Yes, she did.
Get out of here.
I think she is watching this morning. I called to tell her I was going to be on here. So hopefully my mother, Rosetta Townsend, she's watching.
Man, it hurt me when they closed that place. Oh, man.
Yeah, she worked there for years before she transitioned into the medical field when me and my brothers were in high school.
Okay, all right. So, where'd you go to high school?
I went to East Bladen High School in Elizabethtown.
I'm
the
familiar with-
original
Right.
East Bladen High School on 701, the home of the Mighty Cougars.
Ooh, I went there one time to speak to some students way back when. I forget exactly how far back that was, but yeah,
The
I
new
was
high
there.
school is off of 87 now. The
Okay.
old high school is now the middle school.
Okay, all right. Yeah, you got East Bladen and then West Bladen.
Yeah, but
Okay.
back when I was in school, we had East Bladen High School, Bladenboro High School, Clarkton High School, and Tar Heel High School.
Okay, all right. Tar Heel High School.
Yeah,
Tar Heel still exists though.
it's a middle school now. They just built
middle
a
school.
beautiful, brand new middle school.
Okay, all right, great. Well, you know, and then you decided to go into the military
Yes,
because.
following my cousins.
Okay.
Yeah, following my cousins. I used to always hang out with them and everything. And my two cousins, my two favorite, because I love them all, but these two, Michael Borkin and Tony Townsend, those were the two that influenced my decision to go into the military behind them.
You talking about Michael Borkin, the gospel singer?
No, I do know of that Michael Borkin. For a time growing up, my mother, we had attended Mount Elam Church that he preached at. His father, Harold Borkin, preached at. So I grew up with Michael for a little bit in the church, you know, and everything. But he was originally from Clinton. The church was not far from my parents' home.
Right, because a lot of Borkins down there in the Sampson.
Yeah, I believe they are related, but Michael is related to me through his mom, which is my cousin on my dad's side.
Okay, so you found your cousins and you scored well in the ASVAB and you got you a job doing what?
I scored well in the ASVAB. I wanted to be a mechanic originally, but my recruiter felt like that wasn't a girly job, so he put me in as a cook. And that right there taught me a very valuable lesson. Read your paperwork before you sign it, because it took me probably about 6 years before I was able to change my job.
You all call them MOSs? Okay. What does that stand for, MOS?
Military Occupation Specialty.
Okay, all right, go. Okay. You know, the Air Force, we just call them jobs. Career fields. Y'all coming up with all these little things. I'm like, you know.
Hey.
MOS. Peter, what was your MOS? I said, my MOS.
I didn't write the book, but I don't regret anything of
Sure.
how my military service turned out, because it helped make me the person that I am today.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, I honor all our veterans. You know, Reverend Carl. You know, he worked in the operating room. You know, and you know, so he was in there working with the doctors and everything.
Okay.
So you know, he was a leg too.
Okay. Okay.
Some folks don't know what. For those of y'all that may not know what I'm talking about, the people that didn't jump out of airplanes.
Oh yeah, I was considered. You know, I didn't jump either. I had this thing called if the Lord didn't give me the wings, I wasn't gonna do it. I thought about it.
So you thought about going to jump school?
I thought about it.
Okay.
Then I found my senses. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah. Well, you know, I salute those people too. You know, because going through jump school, I'm telling you, it was a tough thing to do.
That's what a lot of my friends and family have said, but they don't regret anything that they did. They love it. They loved it. They would jump now if they could. A lot of them were jump masters.
Well, you got the wings, and then you have the Rangers, man. I mean,
I can't speak on them.
They got some tough stuff in it. Real tough stuff in the Army, man. I'm like, wow. I mean,
I salute them as well. Yeah.
You were into cook. You were cook, and then you went into what later?
I was a cook on active duty. Then I came out and went into the reserves and became a 42 Alpha.
Okay.
That is human resource specialist.
Okay.
And well, before that, I was actually a combat camera photographer. And
oh wow!
I did that about a year until they told me I was going to Bosnia for 2 years, and I had a 6-month-old. And I was like, yes. Yeah. So I stepped across the hall into another unit and switched. and became a human resources specialist. And I stayed that until I went back on active duty in 09, where I became a 89 Bravo, which is an ammunition specialist.
So when you were a combat photographer, were you guys using film or were you digital then?
Digital. It was digital.
Oh man,
at
that was
time.
nice.
I loved it.
But you got to be down in the middle of everything.
Exactly.
Wow.
And I was like, But I do love. I still utilize a lot of the things that I learned in that field when I actually take pictures with my own phone and camera.
Okay.
So yeah, I still utilize a lot of that.
Wow. Well, you have an illustrious career. How long did you stay in?
Altogether, time in service, 14 and a half years.
Okay.
Because reserves and guard are totaled up differently versus active duty. But being that I never had a break in service, my overall time was 23 years. But for pay purposes, it was 14 and a half.
Oh, wow. You know, because when you were thinking like that, I know some of these guys say, how long you in? Well, I was in for 20 years and 3 days and 4 hours.
No, I'm not doing all of that. I'm not doing all of that. No.
I mean, they got it down to the second, man. You know what I mean?
Now, if you'd asked me that when I was getting out, sure, I could have told you that. But not now. I'm just grateful and blessed to have. Actually, next year will be 10 years that I've been out.
Right. Well,
I was medically retired 10 years ago, April 5th. My last day in the military was the day of my son's prom.
Oh, wow. We were talking earlier about, honorable discharge, and that was a big deal with me, because I see some young people go in now and say, well, you can get out under honorable conditions and all those stuff. I would advise you not to be doing that.
Exactly.
You need to get out with an honorable discharge.
Yes.
I mean, because
the honorable under other circumstances, it does more hurt than help.
Right. So, when you're filling out some job applications, they don't ask the in-between. They just ask, did you get out honorably? Were you honorably discharged? That's the question.
Yes.
And it's not any other caveats.
It's no gray area.
Right. It's no gray area. And so I tell people, look, now, if you're making a decision to go in, stay in until you complete your commitment to whatever, and then you get out.
Exactly.
Don't, well, it's hard. And they say I can get out, and I don't believe in that.
That's in my opinion, that's a setup for failure.
That's right. Now, being medically discharged is something different. Not talking about that, but I'm talking about when you just look. I just don't want to do this no more. No.
That's like just go in, do your time, and come out with something. Get your education, get your benefits, get all of that. Right.
So, but I guess some of the men. Young men and women, is there a difference, statistically speaking, between women that are getting out that may be suicidal versus men?
From my research, I haven't seen any difference, but at one point in time, the statistics were saying that 22 veterans a day take their life.
That's across the USA.
That was across the board of the USA.
Wow.
Then, from like I said, through the research I did, which the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, they have links to the CDC and other outlets to find your information. And one of the things that I saw that was very peculiar. Now, if 22 veterans a day are taking their life to suicide, part of that number, they say a fourth of that number were female veterans.
Oh, wow.
So that, I'm like, okay, 22, a fourth, that's still a high number.
It is.
That's a very high number for female veterans. And a lot of times they just feel like giving up because you go from being something stable to now you go into the unknown. And a lot of them don't utilize the services that are provided to them once they get out. As they're doing the process to get out, they have training classes that you go to help set you up for success. But a lot of times, from what I have seen, it's the younger people that they're just ready to get out. They're not paying attention to what is offered in those classes. And in my opinion, I feel like that's the highest number is the young ones that are getting out, not just female, male. They're getting out when they don't really have a plan on what they're going to do next in their life.
Yeah, that's no doubt about that. No doubt about that. I know nobody talked to us about that 50 years ago, but
right.
I'm wondering But I hope that we've advanced somewhat now.
Right, because back during the Vietnam era, nobody knew what PTSD was.
Right.
Nobody knew or understood what they went through. They saw things that you didn't understand. I know I would not understand, because I was not conceived or born at that time. But everybody just wrote it off because mental health was not talked about. Mental health was never talked about back then, and I know from a couple of family members, nobody discussed it because it was a stigmatism and a stereotype. You didn't discuss that. You for most of the time, everybody said you go to church and you pray on it and you'll be all right. But that's not the case. People actually do need help, and I am so grateful that now that there are services available to veterans to help them process what is going on with them, because a lot of them, from what I understand, and ironically, I was watching a rerun of one of my favorite TV shows last night, and this particular episode centered around this guy who was a veteran who felt lost because he got out. He lost a sense of belonging. He lost a sense of purpose, and he didn't have that camaraderie. He felt like he was out in the world alone. And when I first found out that I was going to be, med boarded out, I went into a bad depression because I was used to, a certain way of life. I was used to this. I was used to, making sure my family had this, and now I'm like, okay, I'm going from this to this. How is this going to work? Now everything's going to be on my husband. Our son might not be able to go to college. And I went into a really bad depression for about a month. And then one day I just snapped out of it, and I'm like, okay, let me find out how to make sure that me and my family are going to be okay. Let me, go, I started going through the classes and the trainings and all the different workshops that they had. And I found out that we were going to be okay because in my mindset, I was thinking, because you're in the military, you have an option of a once a month pay period or a twice a month pay period. I had the twice a month pay period, so now I'm thinking I'm going to with the once a month pay period, we were not going to be able to sustain our lifestyle that we were accustomed to. But I was thinking the worst instead of thinking the best of what was going on.
Right. So, in my era, Vietnam era, it was substance abuse. I mean, actually, when I was overseas, they only tested you for opioids. In other words, to see if you were using heroin or some type of, derivative of that. But know for a fact, when we got on the plane, we were coming back, and a lot of people were addicted, so much so that when we made one stop in Japan, and a bunch of folk got off because they were going through withdrawal on the plane. Matter of fact, a guy sat beside me. I never forget it. He started asking for sugar and all this other stuff, and he started sweating profusely. And oftentimes wonder what happened to him. Is he still alive or anything?
Right.
There was a blend with substance abuse then that I'm not sure that you all dealt with that now.
Honestly, I don't. And this might sound crazy, but anytime I'm given a prescription narcotic from the doctor, I'll ask them, how long do I take this? Because I don't want to take anything that's going to cause me to have to feel like I need it every day. A lot of times I'll take it till I start feeling better and I'm done with it. I've seen so much happen in the community with people getting addicted to prescription meds that I just don't want to put myself in that position, because there are a lot more things, prescription narcotics, opioids, fentanyl, all of that. There's so many different things people can get addicted to, and they have more access to in the community or however they acquire it. I've just been one of those ones that I don't like to take anything that's going to alter my way of thinking and how I maneuver my daily life.
Right. Well, it's a little different then. I mean,
Right.
It just...
But now
that was a part of...
Right, that was a part of the culture.
The culture there is just that, you want to get in them prescription-wise. It was just so available.
Right.
And that a lot of guys, they were getting high, and not just off marijuana. They were getting high off serious stuff.
Right.
And you know, they didn't do anything for them. Tell them what I know. They just outed them out of the military, and they came into the community with these drug problems, and they infiltrated cities and everything else. And I can't imagine if anyone's ever done a study as to what that did to communities as well as to this country when they had all those veterans that came out. They weren't necessarily suicidal, but they were addicted to these drugs, what that did to communities throughout this country.
So now you done piqued my curiosity. I'm gonna have to go home and do some research, because I am one for knowledge. I love to find out different things and scenarios of things of how what contributes to things that happen in the community with veterans, everyday people, and what leads up to suicide. And sometimes from when I look at it, some ways, like how you're saying about being addicted to drugs, sometimes these suicides are unintentional. They have OD'd.
Right, that's what I'm saying, right. You know, I mean, so that played a part into that, you know, and I just like, wow, you know.
And if we think back, if all of the resources that we have now were available to the individuals that left Vietnam and came home broken, just think about how many people we could have saved, how many people we could have helped.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I don't know whether we did what we did out of ignorance or what, you know?
I wouldn't say ignorance, I would say unknown.
Well, you know, I mean,
nobody
because
knew what it was.
This is what the doctor told me. He said, man, you just wound too tight. I said, you know, at that point, I'm 20. I mean, what do you mean? You know what I mean? And so fast forward to about 5 years ago. Initially, I was told that my records were burned in a fire in St. Louis. I don't know if you ever heard that story before. That's what they were telling us. We can't get your records, and which turned out not to be true.
Right.
I'm sitting in front of a therapist in Wake Forest, you know, up near Raleigh, and she's looking at my medical records because they converted them to electronic medical records, and the drugs they had on, quote unquote, to unwind me. She's naming the drugs. She knows it.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? And I'm saying that they could help folk if they wanted to. Just tell you, look.
Yeah,
it's about money, you know.
You're right.
They want you to be old, and then when they start paying you, they realize they don't have to pay you for so long. But they don't want to start paying you at 40 when they can, if they can get by and hold it off until you're 70.
Right.
What this country does to veterans is a crime. We know this. And everybody, well, you know, no. It's a crime. When you send billions of dollars to other countries for God knows what, and you don't take care of veterans, it is serious. Something is seriously wrong when we do this. And they do it and get away with it.
The system is broken when it comes to the healthcare with veterans and everything. They are making some strides. They are doing a lot more with community, you know, caring the community. I have a couple of doctors that if it's a long period of time for me to see a particular doctor, I'm like, well, can I see this? Can I go in the community? And they'll refer me to somebody in the community.
Well, I know this is political, but I'm gonna say it anyway. When you send $5 million to Uganda for LGBTQ education, and don't care your veterans, something is wrong.
You're right.
And I'm serious now. I ain't necessarily mad about it, but don't tell me that something's not wrong with what they're doing in this world when somebody's coming up with a budget and they do that, and then you don't take care of your veterans and you sending millions of dollars off to promote LGBTQ in a foreign country. I mean, now, I'm not making this up. You're researching. Go look for yourself. I'm telling you. That's the kind of stuff that we do that I just don't understand. I don't understand that. But, you know, history would show that America never, has taken care of its veterans, going all the way back to 1776. No matter what war we were in, Civil War, War of 1812, Korean War, World War I, II, whatever, it don't matter. They've never been fair towards veterans. This country never has.
You're correct. That is so correct. But hopefully we are making strides to combat that and to put the veterans to the forefront. And that's one of the reasons why we do what we do with this Be the One Suicide Prevention Charity Ride.
Sure. Well, look, I leave you the last couple minutes to you to talk about that, to reiterate that again. I'm sorry I went on my little rant, but I'm a veteran too. So,
I know.
You know.
And you're passionate about your
right,
your
I'm saying,
feelings.
I
Yes.
mean, like, really,
Yes.
the stuff they do. I mean, but for the American Legion Riders, chapter 265, talk about that. I'll give you last word.
Okay, so we're going into the 4th year of the Be the One Suicide Prevention Charity Ride. It is the American Legion Riders Chapter 265 out of Jacksonville. We will be, our ride will start on April 11th. We will be leaving from Matt Williams School at 8:30. Registration starts at 7. If you're on a bike, it's a $20 donation fee for you and if you have a passenger. If you're in a vehicle, that is $25 for everybody. We ask that you sign the waiver form. There's a waiver form you have to sign to participate in this event. From there, we will leave and go to Old North State Food Hall off for exit 97 in Selma. Registration starts there at 8:30. Kickstands and rollout is at 10:30 a.m. We plan to arrive there by 9:30, so we have about an hour time frame to play with. Then once we leave there, we will shoot over to American Legion Wayne Post 11 off of Highway 117 South and Dudley area, but it's kind of, they're in that gray area. They got a Dudley address, but they right on the, like, you go up about 10 feet, you're in the city limits of Goldsboro. And registration starts there at 9:30, and we'll roll out from there at 11:30. And we will be escorted from 6 different sheriff's departments from Cumberland County, Harnett County, Johnston County, Wayne County. Selma PD is going to help control the traffic there. Once we get into Mount Olive is going to block the traffic for us to branch back out, and then we'll roll on into Jacksonville where all the rest of the festivities will be.
Great. Well, look, again, salute all of your veterans where you were in the Navy, which in the Marines is a part of the Navy,
Yes.
and the Army, the Air Force, the Coast Guard, and now we have a new division called Space Force.
Yes.
Wherever you serve at, we appreciate you and we honor you. We tease each other as branches, but at the end of the day, we understand we all veterans, And so salute you,
Thank you.
my sister, and the great work that you're doing.
Thank you.
And your 4th annual, we hope that we're still around to see you doing the 5th annual.
Okay. I hope to come back one more time just to get the word out next week. So.
Right. And so she has 2 grandbabies too, so she came in, she talked about them, and she said she don't be pulling the pictures out, but she got plenty of them. I guess she
Yes,
was
I
like,
do.
if you really want to see them now, I got 1,000 right here.
Yes, I got
Anyway, Ms. Valerie Rayner, thank you so much. Best to you. Success to you all.